Hey guys, this is Justin back with an engineer's perspective, and today I want to do a video on these knives here because I think they represent an important part in my knife journey, and that is these each played a part into getting me to where I am today, which is to say relatively satisfied with what I have. First, I'd like to say a caveat that I, without a doubt, have just total excess in what I have. I have too many multi-tools, too many knives. The degree of privilege that I have in being able to have purchased all of these and experienced them is wild. It is amazing. So I am so thankful for that. But what got me to the point where I've got so many knives is, I think we've all experienced this something when we get into a new hobby and we just have that like thirst. Like you get one and you love that one, so much things about that thing, but you're like already looking to the next one and you just want to try everything and learn and just kind of drink in the whole experience. So part of the timing of these is probably that they weren't like the first ones that I purchased, but a lot of it is just their performance and what they bring to the table. So I just kind of wanted to talk about that. I'm actually going to start on the right side over here because this came first. So this is the Victorinox Compact, and I had tried lots of different kind of pocket, multi-tool, keychain tools, things here and there, a couple Swiss Army knives. But once I got the Victorinox Compact, it's small size. It had the things that just made my everyday life better. The drive to constantly look for something else slowed down significantly. And now I do look and I'm like, oh, I want to try that and try that. Something I bought after this is like the Pioneer X. Is a very similar tool in what it accomplishes like that, where it's kind of like the one for me. So the Compact was the first time I experienced that with I found the one. Like if this was the only one I ever had ever again, like I would be okay with that. I feel good. So the Compact. What's standing in? Well, I've got the Midnight Manager standing in for the Rambler here. So the Rambler is the same tool as the Midnight Manager. It's just that it has the standard scales with a toothpick and tweezers in it, whereas the Manager's got the pen there, and then the little light. But the Rambler is a keychain tool, and when I started using it, I was like, once again, it was just that like, wow, like this is just really hitting my needs so hard. It's just really making my day-to-day better, answering what I want it to do, and it's really great. This is the Midnight Manager, so I did move on from that because I want to try out the pen and light, mostly just to try these things out. I wouldn't say it's replaced the Rambler. I may go right in the middle and try out the regular Manager, which I think has the tweezers and the pen. I think that's kind of the ideal for me, but the Rambler is another one. Now on to blades. How do I begin this? I'll say up front, these are my favorite steels right here. So let's talk about these two first. So I got these first. This is Rex 45 and the Native 5 lightweight and the Para 3. Rex 45 is like an analog, a HAP 40, and Spyderco did these at like 65 to 67 Rockwell, and that's what really makes these amazing. Is they're kind of in a Cruwear M4 class of steel, not stainless, but it's just run so hard. And what these knives brought to the table was an experience with hardness like that I've never had before. And what I noticed the most is these have stability at the edge, meaning they don't want to roll or chip, that was next level. And that was something totally new for me, and I noticed it, especially in this Native here. And I've put this to some hard work. It was a whole new level. And after experiencing that really kind of satisfied my urges for different work steels, because it was just doing what I was really asking a steel to do in a work environment, you know. And as a point of comparison, here's 10V that I used in that same environment. Same edge angle at 15 degrees per side, it rolled, whereas this did not. So Rex 45, it being that hardness, it having such a stable edge, and it's plenty tough. I don't really care that it, I think some people were disappointed with Laren's numbers. Plenty tough, doesn't matter. It's badass. And it comes up crisp on the stones. So it sharpens up great. It is difficult to move at that hardness, I will say that. Let's move over to K390. So K390 was basically love at first sight in this form factor. I do prefer this K390, which is very similar to 10V. I prefer this over this. And there's two reasons for this. This seems to be heat treated a heck of a lot harder than that 10V. I actually really do like this 10V a lot. Really like that knife, but I do prefer this. I've always liked the Delica, and the blade is just such a sweetie. It is like 15 thousandths behind the edge at 17 to 15 degrees per side. So it's got the geometry, it's got the lightweight, it's got the design that I like, and that's K390. Oh my goodness. It feels super hard, probably 65 or so on the Rockwell scale when you're sharpening it, but it sharpens up really nice. It comes up to a sweet edge really easy, and I love how long it holds onto that front end sharpness. I love the working edge that it takes up front, and it holds on to that kind of extra spicy working edge plus, and then that final working edge just lasts forever if you even manage to get to it. Like, this was the whole package. K390 was the first steel that I was like, honestly, like I'm totally happy. I don't need anything else. That was this steel here. And it was in a great package with decent geometry to boot. So this really hit it really nice for me. One that took me a while to warm up to last is Maxamet. I was having a hard time mastering the sharpening, getting it to where I wanted to at the end. I don't know if it's because, and this is my belief, there was excess burnt steel on the edge. But I mean, I was probably like 8 sharpenings in it by the time I really started digging on it. But I wasn't getting the sharpness to where I wanted it to be. And then I said, you know what, let's stop screwing around. And I carried this knife, and this is the only knife I carried until I figured out the sharpening. And it just took me like a week and a half of concerted work, and now it just works magic. And I really like Maxamet. It doesn't hold on to a burr at all. It sharpens up really nice, I think, still. And especially, like, you know, I'll run 800 grit edges on it. I'll run, 2K edges on it. It's just a great steel. I really like it. And when it breaks down, and Tom Hosang Outdoors has noted this, I think watch his Maxamet video, he said it the best, where it's like, it seems like it's getting a little bit duller, and right when you're like, maybe I want to do something to it, bam, all of a sudden, it just picks up this like new sharpness, and it's amazing. And his theory is that it kind of microchips, and I kind of agree with that. I've had lots of microchipping using this in harder environments. One that I can think of specifically is like deburring the insides of plastic piping I'd cut. Like that, I've microchipped a bunch of this blade before, but it was small little chips. It kept cutting. It was pretty easy to resharpen. I didn't really care. And then once again, this form factor, I love the Manix 2 lightweight. I like it a lot more than the regular Manix. I love this package. I love the lock. I love the blade shape. The thing I don't like about the Manixes is the blade geometry is just a little bit thick, but they all are, except for the Delica, and the Victorinoxes. So you just kind of live with that. You can see this thing's had an interesting life. I bought this secondhand. Yeah, Maxamet. Once I figured out my sharpenings on it, I don't know necessarily what happened to make it happen, but once I figured that out, it's been a real honey for me. I like the way K390 breaks down a little bit better because it breaks down finer. but I really like Maxamet, and I really like that blade. And these are two great designs. I discovered that the Para 3 is a design I love, and I've discovered that the Native 5 Lightweight, and I suspect the G10 Model 2 actually, are models I love. So part of this is the models, a lot of it is the steel and the geometry, but these knives got me to where I am today, where I don't feel super inclined to buy a new knife. I'm not looking to that next knife anymore. I look at knives all the time because I like to window shop, but like, I'm good. You know, like the next knife I buy has to be really something special. Like if somebody does something really great in Magna Cut, or if something comes out in 15V, kind of a thing. I'm probably going to pick up a blade in Spy 27 just to try it out. But at this point, I basically buy knives just to play with them, to play with the steels and stuff. But like, I've got the models I love. I've got them in the steels that I love. Like, I don't need anything else. And moreover, I don't want really anything else. So I'm in a good spot. I'm a lucky man, very privileged. So I'd say these are the knives that got me to be satisfied. But I am still looking for the next one, but just it's not that same drive as before. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.